Hello, good afternoon. This is David Stutter talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions video for the upcoming trading week of August 9th through August 13th, 2021. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I will look at all the major Forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame, okay, just like you see here on this chart, and I will compare this to higher time frames, such as the 4-hour daily and weekly time frames, and then based on my experience, I will try to give you my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week. Okay, so to begin with, this past week, okay, last week I predicted that we have mostly range of markets, and that was pretty much true across the board. Okay, we did have some slight trends develop. One thing to note is that this past Friday was the non-farm payroll, okay, as I mentioned in my previous video, and as I also predicted that we'd have a slight increase in the US dollar because there was a predicted of a drop in unemployment figures, and plus there was expected to be more jobs added to the economy, which was 100% true. Okay, so that's good news for the US dollar, and that's what we have been wanting, you know, for quite some time now. So we got, it's not huge good news, but it's definitely a spark, and I'm going to show you here in a few minutes. Okay, so the US dollar definitely got a heartbeat this past week, and I think we're going to see the US dollar going up more and more, okay, this coming week. Okay, so I would probably be prepared to buy the US dollar and sell the other major currency pairs. Okay, I'm going to show you that here in a second. Okay, now to start with, we're looking at EURUSD right here. Okay, EURUSD, we see it was pretty much going sideways to about the middle of the week, and it started to drop, and it's been dropping ever since. Okay, now on Friday was the non-farm payroll. That's when this kicked off right here. Okay, and dropped even further. That's because the US dollar went up. So if the US dollar goes up, this will go down. Okay, vice versa. Okay, that's just how foreign exchange markets work. Okay, one currency pair goes up, another one goes down, right? So we see this. We had, you know, a nice little steady drop, especially towards the end of the week. Now the question is it going to continue to drop? Okay, right now we're at a pretty strong support right now. You see it riding sideways right here. Now of course this is the tail end of the week, and the market is pretty much flat dead at that point in time, but it is a level of support right here. Okay, it's riding sideways at this present point in time, but it could keep dropping more. We don't know. Now let's compare this to higher time frames. Okay, we're going to look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, and look at this. Okay, we have a red arrow here, but no blue arrow. Okay, yet, but we're also at the same level of support that we were before. Okay, right here with this blue arrow. So that is a pretty solid support level. Okay, do I think it's going to drop more? I think so. Okay, now let's look at the daily chart. Here's the deal. Okay, the daily chart shows the sell, and again we're at this level of support here, but we're not at the level of support right here. And I'm going to mark that just so you can see. Okay, a little clearer. Okay, I'll mark this green line right here just to show you that strong level of support right here on the daily chart. Okay, so ultimately we're looking for that to drop and hit right here before it bounces up. Will it hit there this week? I do feel strongly that it will. If we look at the weekly chart, okay, now this gives you a broader picture, a bigger picture of the market where it's headed long term. Okay, so here we have, you know, a red arrow, no blue arrow yet, of course, but the price dropped down to here and then spiked up and it came right back down. Okay, we're almost at that green line I already showed you right here. So we are definitely looking for it to drop even more. If I take this green line, if I can do it, and drag it down to here, see this level of support right here? It's not, if I go to the daily chart and zoom out, it might, yes, right here is definitely indicated on the daily chart. Okay, so that would probably be the most likely place where this would go. Either this blue arrow or this blue arrow. This one is slightly stronger, okay, simply because it hit here 2 times. Okay, it came up right here, the price shot up right here, hit a resistance and then broke, okay, and formed a support and maintained that support, and it's still, as of this very moment, still a support. So we're looking for the price to drop down there. And if I get the crosshairs right here and I go from this point down, we're looking at almost 1,500 pips in profit that this needs to travel. Okay, that's a pretty big move. All right, I don't think that's going to happen this week. Okay, I think we're going to probably see a lot of up and down movement with a slight downtrend. Okay, so yes, it's probably safe to both buy and sell this week, although I would probably look more towards selling than buying. Okay, because we're definitely moving into a downtrend. If you look at the 1 hour chart, even the 1 hour chart shows to buy. Like I said, we hit pretty good level of support right now, but that's going to change. Okay, that's definitely going to change because the 4 hours still shows to sell, and it's already been dropping. It dropped. I dropped all this time right here, you see, and then it kind of just fizzled out, shot back up, came back down again, but overall it's going to be dropping. Okay, like I said, the weekly chart is the strongest indicator. Okay, it's a strong indicator showing where it's going long term. Okay, over the next few months. All right, so we know in the coming months it's definitely going to be dropping back down. It's going to take some time, and the US dollar is still a bit fragile. Okay, it's still trying to recover from this pandemic. Of course, all the currency pairs really are trying to recover from this pandemic, not just the US dollar. And the US dollar is definitely gaining some strength right now, and that's just because of the unemployment figures. But we're also waiting for the US Congress to announce a fourth stimulus check or fourth stimulus payment to all US citizens, and this will pump more money into the economy. Okay, I don't know, I've been talking about this, economists have been talking about it, I keep reading about it, but as of right now there is no fourth stimulus check. So anyhow, if that happens, boom, we're gonna see the US dollar go up quite a bit, and this right here will drop. So what do we do this coming week? Okay, like I said, keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, it's gonna be your best approach, and to play it safe, I would look for sell opportunities only. Okay, you can both buy and sell. Like right now shows the buy, but I don't think it's going to go up. It doesn't look like it's going up, but either way, wait until at least the London session on Monday before you go placing any trades, because when the market opens on Monday, it's really sluggish because it has your weekend slumber. Okay, so definitely give it some time before you go place a trade. So anyhow, look, I would definitely look to sell. Let's look at GBPUSD. Okay, Great British Pound versus the US dollar. Again, okay, here this is a perfect example of what I mentioned earlier. Pretty much everything is in a flat range of market here. Okay, now the price did end lower than where it began, but you see some really nice up and down movement. If you were to, both buy and sell this past week, buy on this arrow, close the trade here, sell, close the trade here, buy again. Now, problem is, boom, the price went up, but there was no red arrow, right? And it's probably going to keep dropping, so you'd probably be in trouble right now. But based on what I'm seeing right here, I'm going to give you a tip. Okay, if you place your trade on the 30-minute time frame, okay, you can close it on the 15-minute. Okay, now if we drop down to the 15-minute, watch this. See, wait a minute. If I go back to the 30-minute, I'm going to mark a horizontal or vertical line right here. Okay, this is where the trade, this is where the indicator came in on the 30-minute time frame. Now if we look on the 15-minute time frame, there we see a red arrow, but you don't see that on the 30-minute. See, the 30-minute, there is no red arrow, but on the 15-minute we see it clearly. So you could use the 30-minute chart to determine when to place a trade, and then once you place that trade, you could switch down to a smaller time frame, the 15-minute, and then close it when you get the next opposite arrow. Okay, so this is a good example of when to do that, and I have other videos in the past, other strategy videos showing how to do this as well. Okay, I just want to kind of reiterate that and give you that small tip in case you have not watched any of my other videos. All right, so moving on to before we move on, what did we do this week? Okay, well, I think we're probably going to see more of a range of market. The 4-hour chart, let's look at the higher time frames real quick. The 4-hour chart shows to sell, so we know it's probably going to be dropping. Okay, if the US dollar continues to go up, this one is going to go down. Problem is, the Great British Pound is a very strong currency pair. It's been performing a lot better than the euro. Okay, if we look at Euro GBP currency pair, we see the euro has been steadily dropping against the Great British Pound, and the Great British Pound has been going up. So the Great British Pound right now is very strong. Okay, and so is the US dollar. US dollar is becoming stronger. So you got two strong currency pairs right now, kind of fighting one another. Who is the strongest, right? Kind of a battle to the death, if you will. So yes, we are looking to go down, but like I said, right now we're at a pretty strong level of support. The daily chart, however, shows to go up. Okay, so boom, right there. This is a little bit different than what we're looking at with the euro, and that's why I was telling you this Great British Pound is a lot stronger. Okay, this daily chart shows to go up, but the weekly chart shows to go down. Okay, so we know long term it's going to be going down. That's going to be in the coming months. Okay, it's going to take a long time for this to really drop. So we're on the daily chart, we're looking for a red arrow to form. It may or may not. I think it will, but I don't know. You know, we have the high point right here. I can mark it just to show you real quick. That's a strong point right there. That would probably be the most likely spot. See all this resistance in the past. It hit so many levels of resistance in the past. This would probably be the spot where it would form a red arrow, if it does. Okay, but I don't know. It might go up this week. It might not. But for all intents and purposes, if you keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, let me zoom out a little bit. You should be safe to both buy and sell. Now we had a high point here. We had another high point that's lower. We had another high point lower. High point lower. So it looks like we're working itself into a downtrend. Okay, look at the 1-hour chart. It's showing to go up right now. 4-hour chart shows to go down. So I think this week we're probably going to see it drop for the most part. Okay, like I said, the daily shows to go up. Because the higher the time frame you go, the stronger the signal. But right now, for this week, it looks like it's going to be dropping. Okay, but I do not expect any big drops. Okay, I mean, it depends on the US dollar. If the US dollar is strong this week and keeps shooting up, then yes, this will drop. But like I said, the Great British Pound is strong also. So you have, you know, really two strong currencies fighting neck to neck right here. So and this is a tough one to call, but you should be safe to both buy and sell. Okay, using a 30-minute time frame. The euro, I would definitely sell only, but this one, I feel that you could both buy and sell. Now, definitely wait until at least the London session on Monday. I know this is the Great British Pound. Wait until the London session on Monday before you go placing any trades. Okay, so yes, you should be able to both buy and sell this week. If you have a trade open right now, well, a buy trade open right now, hopefully it's going to go back up and maybe you can break even. But you know, let's wait until the London session and see what happens. Okay, but contact me on Facebook if you have any questions, because we don't know, but I definitely feel the Great British Pound is not having any huge drops. Anyhow, let's move on to AUDUSD. Okay, Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Okay, this past week we saw, look at this, the price ended almost exactly where it began. So the price went up and came back down. Again, this Australian dollar is a strong currency pair also, okay, compared to the US dollar. So you see here there are some good buy and sell opportunities, right? You could buy here, close the trade here, sell and close. Of course, that was a pretty sharp drop right there, and it came back up. Now this is like almost exactly what we saw with the GBPUSD, where you know, the price came back down again. But somehow I got a feeling it's going to go up. I don't know. The reason being, if you look at the 4-hour chart, we have up arrow but no red arrow. Okay. Now, it's definitely been weak for quite some time. It dropped all the way down here, but it never came back up and formed a red arrow. If we look in the past, we had 1, 2, 3 blue arrows in a row, but they were going up, right? We don't have 3 blue arrows in a row going down. So if I look in the past further back, I'm just trying to see if we have any blue arrows. We have red arrows going up, but let's see if we got any blue arrows going down that are repeated. Forex is one of these things where history repeats itself. Okay, here we go. We got another blue arrow lower than the other. So it is possible to have another blue arrow lower. Pretty much anything's possible in Forex, I mean, with these trends, but you see it's just kind of riding sideways. So if you look at the daily chart, it shows to go up. Okay, and that's just what we saw previously with the GBP. So I said this is a strong currency pair. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see this. It's definitely showing to go up. Okay, how high it's going to go up? I don't think it's going to go up a whole lot. Okay, and the weekly chart shows to sell. All right, look at this. The weekly chart shows to sell, and this is the biggest trend of all, you know, all the different time frames. So we want to look at the long-term aspect of where this is going. So definitely, it's definitely going down long-term. And the short-term is probably most likely going to go up. If you look at the daily chart, it's showing to go up, right? So how high is it going to go up? Not too much. And what does that mean for this week? So if we go back to the 30-minute time frame and we zoom out a little bit, look at this. So it's kind of riding sideways. It has a slight uptrend, right? Forming. And this was this past week, past 2 weeks. Okay, the last 2 weeks has been kind of slightly going uphill. You see that? So, and we have a lot. This is a 30-minute time frame, and we have a lot of good buy and sell opportunities. So I feel very strongly that we're going to see a repeat of that, and this will probably go up more. Depends on the US dollar, right? And how strong the US dollar is. Okay, like I said, both of these currency pairs are strong anyhow. So US dollar is gaining strength. Yeah, this might drop some more, but I don't think US dollar is that strong right now. You know, both these are strong. So when you get two pairs like that, you get a lot of range of markets typically. Okay, so I feel very strongly that you can both buy and sell using a 30-minute time frame. Okay, if you just look at the pattern, look at what's developed, even in the past, you've had a lot of good buy and sell opportunities. Okay, some better than the others, but yeah, I don't really see any problems with like this one here. You buy here and it dropped, like, oh damn, but eventually it came back up, right? But you should be fine. Now again, you want to wait till at least the London session on Monday before placing any trades. Okay, now let's take a look at the US dollar. We'll see an inverse relationship, okay, but it should be pretty much the same scenario. Okay, now here of USDCHF, we see that the price went up. Okay, some other ones we just looked at, we saw the price end lower than where it began. This one ended higher than where it began, and actually we had a pretty much a flat range of market all week. Okay, really not too much activity until that non-farm payroll kicked off on Friday, and then it spiked up. So that was okay. That was pretty much expected anyhow, but now we're looking at a pretty solid level of resistance right now, and it's probably going to come back down some and then shoot up even more. Okay, now if we look at the 4-hour chart, Wow, look at that. So the 4-hour chart definitely shows to go up. Okay, that looks good for a buy. But I think we're gonna have a pullback. You already see it's hit the resistance here, starting to drop again. And this was at the close of the market on Friday. So what it's going to do when the market opens, I don't know. But from experience, okay, speaking from experience here, when we have a big spike like that, you have another pullback. Okay, and that's so people can try to hit the banks, or the brokers will try to hit people's stop losses. Okay, you have another pullback. People will panic and close their trade or whatever, and then they'll place a sell trade, and then they'll reverse and go back up again. And then people will panic, oh man, why I place a sell trade, because now it's going back up again. If you would just held your buy trade and just kept it for long term, you would see it go up. So yeah, it should be going up this week. Hard to say. If you look at the daily chart, okay, daily chart shows to go up. There's no red arrow, and the weekly chart as well. So basically all indicators are pointing up. So that's a really good sign for the US dollar. Now how will it perform against the Australian dollar and the Great British Pound? That's hard to say, because like I said, they're strong currency pairs. The euro has been very weak, so it's definitely going to perform better than the euro. Now, what do you do this week? Okay, what should we do this week? So we definitely see a gain in US dollars gaining strength. So what I would do is keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame like this, and look for buy opportunities only. Okay, just for the US dollar Swiss franc. Okay, let's look at next US dollar Japanese yen. Move on. Here we definitely saw the price end higher than where it began. We had a big spike up here on Wednesday, and then at the end of the week we had another spike because of the non-farm payroll. Okay, I was kind of expecting the US dollar USDJPY to drop, simply because if the USDCHF goes up, quite often, not always, but quite often, USDJPY has kind of opposite effect. Okay, I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe the Japanese yen is stronger, but we are definitely seeing the US dollar pick up against the Japanese yen. So what's going to happen this week? Well, looks like we're at a pretty strong resistance right now. It might go up some more. If you look at the 4-hour chart, it's showing the buy. We had a blue arrow here, and then followed by a lower blue arrow. So yes, it's going to go up, but it's not going to go up that high, I don't think. If we look at the daily chart shows to sell, and I showed this in the past where we had 2 red arrows in a row, and we're definitely looking for this to drop. Okay, so that kind of falls back. If the USDCHF is going up long term, even the daily chart shows to go up. The USDJPY should be going down. Okay, the problem is the weekly chart shows to go up, but we've had this buy signal for quite some time. Okay, and it is going up long term. Okay, but what's going to happen in the short term in the next few weeks? Okay, next few weeks it should be dropping. And when you have 2 arrows in a row, typically, not always, typically the 3rd arrow will be the opposite color. So I'm hoping that this next arrow we're going to have will be a blue arrow. Okay, if we zoom out a little bit, kind of get an idea of, just look at the history here. Here we had 2 red arrows followed by a blue arrow. See that? Just trying to look in the past here. Wow, here we had 3 red arrows followed by a blue arrow. History, history has a way of repeating itself, but anyways, I don't want to confuse you too much, but we got two red arrows in a row. Okay, so there's a strong chance, strong probability that yes, we're going to see a blue arrow, kind of like this right here. It's kind of set up right here where the price went up and then kind of rose sideways and then dropped. Okay, same thing's probably going to happen here. I'm not a fortune teller. I cannot tell you the future of Forex. I'm sure there are people that have insider information, be it the top level, top echelon of these banks or secret society, the government. They have all this stuff planned. They know where the price is going. If me and you had that information, we'd all be gazillionaires, right? but unfortunately we do not have that information. So that's the only problem in Forex, really, is we don't know what the market's going to do. Okay, but we do our best with technical analysis, and we look at the history, we look at what's happened in the past, and we can kind of use the past to predict the future, because it's, you know, it definitely repeats itself all the time. We have a lot of uptrends and downtrends, and right now we're looking for a downtrend to emerge. So, and we see on the 4-hour chart it's already shot up. So yes, it might shoot up a little bit more, but I do have a feeling it's going to be dropping this week. Okay, 1-hour chart shows the sell right now, and 30 minutes shows the sell as well. So yeah, like I said, this could repaint, could go up a little higher. I don't know, but we will see. So what do we do this week? Well, based on what you're seeing right here on the 30-minute time frame, looking at the past, I feel you'll be perfectly fine if you both buy and sell. I don't see any reason why not. Thing is, like I said, the 4-hour chart already shot up. There's no red arrow. So if you want to play it safe, wait for a red arrow. We got 2 blue arrows in a row. We got 2 blue arrows in a row. I'm looking for a red arrow to form now. Okay, and it would probably form at this point here. Oops, where did I click on? This one here. Okay, if it goes up. So it could, it very well could. This could repaint and go higher. Okay, that's what we're looking for to hit on this green line. I don't know, no guarantees of course, but I would definitely be looking to sell this week. This is the US dollar Japanese yen, so I would wait until at least the New York session on Monday to see what the US dollar does before placing any trades. Yeah, for all intents and purposes, you should be perfectly fine to both buy and sell. I would probably lean more towards selling, okay, just because it looks like it's going to be going to a downtrend. If you sell this week and get one good trade out of it, you'd be fine. Okay, so I'll leave it in your hands if you want to both buy and sell, but you have good opportunities either way. I would definitely lean more towards the selling side. Okay, that's just my personal recommendation. Okay, now let's look at the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar here. Okay, USD Cad. Here we see it pretty much a flat range of market. Okay, the price did end higher than where it began, but you have a high point here and another high point. This one's slightly higher than the previous. Now the US dollar and the Canadian dollar both had pretty good news this past week. So, but the US dollar had better news than the Canadian dollar, and so that's good with their unemployment figures. Okay, so what's going to happen this week? Well, I think we're going to see the US dollar go up more against the Canadian dollar. Right now it's showing the drop. Okay, so we're probably going to see a drop in the beginning of the week, and then around the middle of the week we should see it spike back up. So if we look here on the 4-hour chart, it shows to go up, which is good sign. But you know, see this high point, drop back down, came with this next high point, which is, like I said, just slightly higher than the previous, and now it's starting showing to go back down, which it will, and then it'll go back up even higher again. Okay, now here is the big kicker. Okay, the daily chart shows to sell, so we're not going to see a huge gain this week. The weekly chart shows to buy, and that's fine. That's going to happen long term. Okay, in the coming months we'll see this go up. It's going to take a long time. From this red arrow to this blue arrow, you're looking at March of 2020, and this came in the end of April. Okay, beginning of May 2021. So you're looking at over a year from one arrow to the next. So again, we're looking at probably over a year before we see another red arrow. So that's going to take, you know, probably you're looking at 9, 10, 12, I don't know, 10 to 12 months before we see another red arrow. Okay, so just keep that in the back of your mind that yes, it's going up, But right now, you see it dropped and it's starting to come back up again. So what's going to happen this week? Right now, it's slowly working itself into a downtrend according to the daily. 4 hour shows to go up. Yeah. So what I'm feeling, and 1 hour shows to sell. So it's going to drop some right now and then go back up. So yeah, you should be perfectly fine to both buy and sell. Okay, using a 30-minute time frame. Okay, I don't see no reason why not, because if we keep it on the 30-minute time frame, we just zoom out. Okay, I've already showed you all the different time frames, but if we look at the 30-minute time frame, okay, you got good buy and sell opportunities. Now, remember that tip I told you earlier where you could place a trade on a 30-minute time frame and close it on the 15-minute? And if you look here, watch this. Well, I'm gonna mark this one here, I guess. You clearly see we had a nice uptrend, right? But if we go to the 15-minute, look at this. You close the trade here, okay, on this red arrow. Okay, you won't have as much profit, but you could buy again on this red arrow, on this blue arrow. So if you want, you could keep your charts on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, I prefer the 30-minute because the signals are stronger. Okay, when we're looking to enter a trade, okay, the signals are a lot stronger on the 30-minute time frame. So that's what we're looking for. Yeah, you could buy and sell on the 15-minute chart. Either way, if you get a signal on the 15-minute chart, I'd rather wait for about an hour, at least 45 minutes before I place that trade. Okay, and the reason being is because you get a lot more repaint on the smaller time frame. Smaller time frame, the more repaint. So if you get a signal on the 15-minute that pops up, it might keep repainting. So you need to wait. I'd wait about an hour to see if it stops repainting, and then place your trade and close it on the next opposite arrow. Okay, and just repeat that process. Okay, and the same applies for a 30-minute time frame. Okay, wait for about an hour, wait about 2 hours after you get a signal, and then place your trade. Okay, that way you get plenty of time to make sure it doesn't repaint, and you can get a good entry point. Okay, so anyhow, that will conclude my weekly trade predictions. If you have any questions about this predictions, or if you need me to analyze another currency pair, okay, not going over here, I can't go over every currency pair, but just hit me up on Facebook. I'll be more than happy to try to sit down with you and we can go over it. All I ask is that we both kind of analyze it together. Okay, so there's a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Please contact me there first. Okay, that's all I ask. Also, there's a link for my private Facebook group. Okay, and you can request to join my Facebook group and post any questions or comments in my Facebook group, and that way myself or other members of my group, we can all help you and collaborate as a team. Okay, that's the whole purpose of having that group. Okay, so anyhow, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you. Have a wonderful week ahead.